96 AD, 3990 AM. This is the date of historians for the composition of the Apocalypse, called also the Book of Revelation. In this year the Christian oppressor Emperor Domitian died, a peace beginning for the Christians. Ignatius and his church survived. John was exiled upon the Isle of Patmos, and upon being freed he returned to Ephesus until his death, he being about 87 years old at this time. The revelation was a direct message to the seven churches: Ephesus, Smyrna, Pergamos, Thyatira, Sardis, Philadelphia, Laodicea, all Greek cities in Asia Minor. The same region that was thickly populated with and exported waves of people descended from Israel, Danaan, Ionians, and Gauls. Justin Martyr, about 140 AD, claimed that Revelation was written by John, but almost all chroniclers afterward disbelieved this. About 250 AD, Dionysius was head of the Alexandrian school, and once Bishop of Alexandria. He was also the pupil of the scholar Origen, and he wrote that John did not write the Apocalypse at all, claiming that the material was from one named Cerinthus, founder of the Corinthians. Dionysius said that the author of the Apocalypse was not the same man as that who wrote the Gospel of John or the Epistles of John. Cerinthus lived at Ephesus in 96 AD and taught at the same time as John the Apostle. According to Irenaeus, writing about 170 AD, Cerinthus taught that the world was created by a power subordinate to God. Epiphanius claimed at about 380 AD that it was the belief of Cerinthus that the world was created by the angels. This made Cerinthus a Gnostic. As seen earlier, this was also the belief of Simon Magus, and as related in 4039 BC, this is exactly what we find: the renovation of a ruined earth by the hands of angelic beings called Anunnaki. Cerinthus was very specific in making a distinction between original Judaism and the latter faith of the Jews that was filled with corruption. Many historians are in agreement that the Apocalypse is a Gnostic text. It is an amalgamation of writings from older texts of Phrygia, Egypt, the Hebrews, and Greece. The Eastern churches knew that the Apocalypse was compiled from much older texts. Pike wrote that it belongs to extreme antiquity. Quote, "It reproduces what is far older than itself." Unquote. Its ancientness is shown in that it makes the year to be 360 days, not 365. This means that it dates at least to 713 BC, but it is no doubt much older. It is very possible that a lost writing of John was used to prefix the actual Apocalypse account, which itself derived from very ancient prophetic manuscripts. Revelation is probably a Christianized version of the last days, drawn from the lost Hebrew prophetic works, the books of the Sibyl and the Greek prophecies burned in 1 AD. As shown in Lost Scriptures of Giza, the Revelation text reproduces over 70 points priorly found in the pre-Christian book of Enoch, sometimes word for word. The subject matter of the Apocalypse concerns three major events that will occur in the last days that will affect the entire world. These are the sixth seal of the Apocalypse, shown in When the Sun Darkens, and Nostradamus and the Planets of Apocalypse, to be the return of planet Phoenix, that will cause a pole shift that will literally kill a fourth of the world's population, and alter the geographical boundaries of nations as the seas and oceans overextend their coasts. Also depicted is the alteration of the Earth's orbit, changing the motion of our planet, altering the length of the day and length of the year, altering our calendar. This is fully described in Anunnaki Homeworld as the Passover of planet Nibiru. These two intruder planets will cause these global disasters in 2040 and 2046 AD. This third message of the Apocalypse is the coming of God to Earth to engage the enemy, to defeat the Anunnaki seven kings, who created the present world in 2106 AD, the subject of Descent of the Seven Kings. Lastly, the year 96 AD is very significant. In this year, the Anunnaki planet Nibiru reached aphelion, the farthest distance from the Earth and Sun. It travelled away from the inner solar system for 366 years, and now begins its 366-year journey back. Additionally, 96 AD is precisely 1944 years after God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, and the Elamite cities of the Harappan Valley in 1849 BC. Counting this same 1944 years after 96 AD is the year 2040 AD, when Planet Phoenix will destroy a quarter of the world's population and plunge surviving humanity back into the Neolithic Age. For these reasons, the authorship of the Apocalypse is unimportant. The old document is still of profound prophetic value. 1. 4 witnesses. 3. The secret teachings of all ages. 4. The Christ conspiracy. 5. History of the Christian religion and church to the year 300. 9. The gospel truth. 108 AD, 4002 AM. This is the 33rd pass of planet Phoenix through the inner solar system since the destruction of the pre-Adamic world in 4309 BC. There are not records of any kind of astronomical sighting in this year. This is 690 years, orbits of Earth around the Sun, since Phoenix transited between Earth and the Sun in 583 BC. By this date, the science of the Phoenix has been completely lost. This, as the year 108 AD, is exactly 1998 years, 666 times 3, before Armageddon. Remarkably, this is 1554 years after the exodus of Israel from Egypt, and in the year 1554 AD, Nostradamus the prophet, a French scholar and doctor of Jewish lineage, finished his Centuries, a mysterious coded prophetic text that has much information about the return of Phoenix in the year 2040 AD, a date specifically targeted by Nostradamus himself. See Nostradamus and the Planets of Apocalypse.